Oh, Jono, you're gonna be on the internet.
Yes.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you about the toughest challenges that I have had being my own boss. If you haven't been to this channel before, then my name is Lisa and I'm here to tell you about my experiences on being an entrepreneur and basically breaking down the term entrepreneur and how it's been so romanticized, and really showing you the ins and outs, the behind the scenes and the reality of being your own boss. So if you're interested in videos like this, then make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. And so let's get started. So the first thing I want to tell you guys about being your own boss is the fact that sometimes it can get lonely. And the reason why it's lonely is because no one is ever going to take the same path as you. As your own boss, you know, you might be needing to make a really serious decision and you might go to your family, your friends, your colleagues and even your staff to get feedback or to get their opinions. But at the very end of the day, it all comes back to you. You're the person who's going to make that decision. And so in these kind of scenarios, sometimes you can feel quite lonely because you just don't have someone that you can just go, hey, tell me what to do, like a teacher at school or a lecturer at university. It all really comes down to you. So what I've learned over the years is that you can definitely go ahead and seek out all of the people that you trust, their advice, but at the end of the day, you also have to trust your own instincts and your own decision making. If you're scared about making the wrong decision, and let's just say that you have made a bad decision upon reflection, you've made a bad decision and that's that, but you can always recover and move on. And I know that I have made some bad decisions in the past, but I've always learned from them. And so in that sense, they're never failures, they're in some sense successes because I've been able to grow from it. The second tough challenge that I have found is being the person that everyone hates. So what I mean by that is not just people hating me on the street or anything like that, but when you're your own boss and you start to hire staff, you need to be that tough person sometimes. Personally, I love to get to know people. I'm an extrovert, and this is how I used to behave with the staff that I first hired. I tried to get to know them, and even to this day, you know, I've got some really fantastic staff on my team and we get along great. But as the years have gone by, I've had to make some really tough decisions, and that includes firing people and also stern talkings when certain expectations have not been met. And without a doubt, these times I've felt so nervous going into a meeting. Oh, that's a fly. Bali. What was I talking about? Don't like being that person that has to share the really hard information, but you realize as a boss that you need to separate yourself as a person from your business. And if you're going to let your business run successfully and healthily and be healthy, then these are the things that you have to do. And if there's one piece of advice, whenever I have to deliver harsh news, it's as though I'm delivering the news to friends or family. So someone that I care about, because I don't just want to, you know, punch them in the face. Speaking to them in a way where you're telling them that you care about them and you really want them to do well in the company and that you see that there's a lot of potential, but it's just a matter of fixing a few little things here and there in order to get there, and that you're keen on achieving this together and that you know it can happen. The third thing I want to talk to you guys about is learning curves and the challenges that entail that. So when you become your own boss, you are going to start doing certain things that you have never thought you would have ever touched before. For me, it included things like marketing, setting up a domain. As you know, my professional background is actually being a pharmacist, so that has nothing to do with marketing or SEO. But I do know a lot about drugs, so if you're ever interested, then let me know. And a tough challenge is basically overcoming that learning curve. Sometimes you're trying to learn something and you're trying to do something, but it is so overwhelming and you just feel like you've hit that concrete wall and you just can't process anymore. These situations have occurred so many times for me, but what I've learned over time is that I'll eventually get there. Eventually it will click. It's just a matter of letting it consolidate and letting it take time. Something that I like to do is, if it just, you know, it's a no-no for now, I'll go to bed and I'll just let it consolidate, and hopefully the next day I can look at whatever the topic is with a fresh set of eyes and a more focused and positive mindset. Something else that I do is I always write everything down. Sometimes when you're learning a whole lot of stuff, it's all mumbled jumbled up in your head, and it will stay that way until I put it down on paper. So I'll grab myself a big A4 sheet of paper. Is A4 even that big? No, not really. So I'll grab myself an A4 piece of paper and I'll just jot down everything that I know about this particular topic. So if it's about marketing, then I'll write down in the center, marketing. And here are all the strategies that I would like to implement, and I'll branch them off into different parts of the page, and I'll just blurt out, you know, word vomit, as they say in Mean Girls. At the end, you can look at everything in front of you and recognize where certain areas are lacking, and then from there you can take the next step in finding out more on that area. So give that a try if you're ever in this situation. The fourth thing is something that I won't discuss so much in this video, but it will be in another video that will be released in future called being stuck in a rut. And that's when you basically start to lose motivation and you just have a loss of direction. I feel like this is something that a lot of entrepreneurs experience, especially as you go further on in your journey as an entrepreneur, because no one's telling you where to go, no one's telling you what the next step is, and you have to figure it out all on your own. And sometimes you can be so boggled up in the everyday stuff, in the problems and the challenges that are happening today, that you just don't know what's coming up next, and you don't have the positive energy to move forward. So I'll leave that in the next video. But if you've liked what you've heard so far, then go ahead and hit that like button. I have a question for you guys. What are the toughest challenges that you have experienced in your journey as a boss or entrepreneur? I would absolutely love to hear what have been the most difficult parts on your journey, and hopefully we can all help each other out in the comments below. Just remember that despite all of these tough challenges, the most powerful things come in small packages. I'll be releasing the video about being stuck in a rut, so not having direction and losing motivation, very shortly. If you're keen on hearing about that, then make sure you go ahead and subscribe to this channel. Bye guys!